Hi everybody, it's Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a quick waterfront card scene for you today. I want to use the new spruced green, so I have this fun metallic ribbon that comes in the metallic ribbon duo bundle in the new catalog. And we're just going to make a fun scene card, some pretty simple stamping. So let's just go ahead and get started. Pretty basic kit. I'm using So Saffron as my card base, just for something a little different today. I'm using Very Vanilla as my neutral. I've got the Spruce Green as my backer, and I'm also using that as my greens. And then we're just going to stamp our scenery. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm using Pool Party for my water, and I'm actually going to add that first, and then I'll build my mountains on top. So I'm going to put my water here. So about midway. I'm adding my sentiment down here, so I want to make sure I left enough space for that, and I believe I did. Okay, so now I'm using Old Olive for my mountains. So I'm just going to stamp with an active edge. I stamp across, and then I stamp again. Then I just add another set. So I stamp without re-inking, I go again. Now I want to add more mountains, but I don't want this super dark, so I'm going to stamp off first and then stamp above. So I'm just going to build my mountain range like that. So stamping off and then stamping up the scene. So if you want it lighter, stamp it off a couple of times. And there we go. There's our mountains. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of sunshine. So I'm just going to peek my sun in here. And if you're comparing this to the one I've already done, you can see that they're not going to be exactly the same because you're free stamping scenery. So don't worry about them being exactly the same. It's just the idea behind it. Now I'm using this kind of scattered texture stamp to add just a little bit more yellow into the sky. And then let's go ahead and add our trees. So I'm using the spruced green, and I'm just going to stamp them kind of on the edges here. One set there, and one set here. Okay, let's go ahead and put our words on. Right down here at the bottom. Every little kindness makes the world brighter. I think sending a card makes people's days brighter too, so stamp up a fun card and send it along. Now, I could just take all these layers and put them right on my card as is, right? However, I did die cut with my oval, my stitched oval, and we're going to go ahead and do that again. So I'm just going to get my Big Shot out. Okay, and back it up and open it up. So I'm going to put my scene on my cutting mat. Then I'm going to take my oval and I'm going to die cut part of that scene out. Now I want it mostly centered, but I also want to have the sun and the water in it. So you kind of have to, you know, play around with your placement. Then I'm just going to put my other cutting mat on top. I'm going to run that through and die cut that stitched oval out. So it's kind of a subtle frame within the frame of the image, but sometimes just that little extra die cut can add a whole lot of oomph to your project. So I'm just going to take that out. Okay, so there's our die cut scene. So let's go ahead and put our layers together now. Looking for my snail. I found it, thankfully. Alright, so just going to snail up my scene, and I'm mounting that on my shaded spruce, which is the color I used for the trees. Okay, now before I go any farther, I'm going to take this ribbon. Now this ribbon's about 1/8 of an inch wide. So I'm just going to take a little bit and I'm going to snail it and tuck it behind. So this is one of my cheater bows. So I'm just going to flip this over. Let's see. No, that's on there. Okay. flip this over, so I'm going to end snail down my sides, a little on the top and the bottom. Then I flip it back over and I'm going to take my cut ribbon and I'm just going across my card and I'm tucking it and tacking it to the back where that snail was. And then that's going to go right onto our card. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to take about 8 inches of ribbon and I'm going to tie a bunny ear bow. I've showed these before. Basically I take 2 loops, okay, about half the ribbon, then I take 2 loops and I tie a knot with those loops. Just like that. And then you can pull and tighten and make your bow whatever size you want. Okay, and then I just pull my ends together and give them a trim so they're the same length, about. Okay, so there I've got my bunny ear bow, and I'm just going to add that with a glue dot. So just tack that on where you want it. And then we've got our scene to put back in. I'm going to put this in with dimensional, so kind of like putting a puzzle piece back in, but we're just going to pop it up a little bit. There we go, get the back off that one. So now this one is just going to fit right back into our space. Just like that. There we go, there's our card. Now for the envelope, keeping it simple, I'm just going to add some of those shaded spruce trees to my top corner. And we're done. Alright guys, so there we go, a nice quick scenery card using the Waterfront stamp set and some of our new shaded spruce cardstock color and ribbon. So I hope you enjoyed today's show and tell. As always, give me a thumbs up or subscribe here so I know that you're enjoying what I'm doing, and I'll keep doing it for you all. And you can subscribe to my show and tell newsletter if you need all the directions that will be on my tutorials, which come out next Tuesday. Okay everybody, have a great weekend and happy stamping. Bye-bye.